Hi everyone, welcome back to CrochetRocks. Tracy here, and if you haven't already, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and the notification bell, and YouTube will always send notifications through. As you know, they never get it wrong. Cheers everyone, being healthy. That's better, I was a little dry. So I got tagged. Whoops. I've got a pad because I wish I'd written it bigger now. You know what I mean? I wish I'd written it bigger. I got tagged by the lovely Glenda, Creative Grandma, in a new tag by The Secret Yarnery, by Krista from The Secret Yarnery, and it is TSY TTFY, which stands for The Secret Yarnery Top 10 for You. So top 10 for you, meaning not just me, but you too. So it's an invitation to you to tell me as well your answers to the questions. I got the tag last night, and Glenda said in her video that we haven't spoken for a long time, and it wasn't until she said that I kind of thought it has been a long time. We used to talk quite regularly, and I don't know, life took over, and I guess the lockdowns and everything that went on after it, and my cancer, and you know, just things just snowball and life takes over, doesn't it, from time to time. But this is, what a great way this is of picking up ties again. So yeah, I think I'll definitely get myself a nice email and get in touch with Glenda. So the questions are here and I'll go through them, but you're welcome to take part by telling me your answers in the bottom. I'll put a list of all of the questions in the drop down, and you'll be able to see them all, which is more than I can do right now. Looking for glasses. Oh, I've got any. Okay, so the first one then, to stitch marker or not to stitch marker? That is the question. Do you use them? If so, how do you use them? I do use them from time to time, not always. Usually, even if it's a very small stitch, I can see where my row ends or round ends and starts, you know. Guess I've been doing it a long time and I can always spot it. But if you're doing a spiral and you really do need to know where the beginning of your row started, then sometimes I use a piece of yarn. It's a different colour from, obviously, because otherwise it just wouldn't work out, and I just keep moving it up. Sometimes I use a stitch marker, and the times that I do use a stitch marker are, for instance, you know, if you're making a mile a minute and you're going to do, let's say 64 segments. Otherwise, if you don't put a stitch marker in every 10 or so, you're going to be forever going 1, 2, 3 to see how many you've got left, which after the first couple of times, it really is no fun. So I will use one every 10 so that I know I can just then go 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. And that's how I use my stitch markers. I don't tend to use them a lot in crochet or knitting. And also, I guess if I wanted to, if I was making a baby dress or something like that, and I did the yoke all in one, and I wanted to mark where the front ends and that's the sleeve, and I might hook it together so it would then be the sleeve hole. Know what I mean? Does that make sense? I'm not sure. Do you do anything special to look after your hands or wrists? I would be lying if I said I didn't look after my hands. I do. I quite like the fact I've got very flat hands. Always have had really sort of flat hands. Younger hands than the rest of me. If there's a part of me that can look young, I'm not going to begrudge it. I'm going to look after it. So what I do is I do look after my hands. A little while ago, no matter what I did to my hands, I couldn't look after them. I had some dry, rough skin and I could not get rid of it, no matter what I put on. And all the usual stuff that I was using wasn't working. I was getting a little bit anxious. I thought I was going to have to go to the doctor, which is a little bit of a mission these days. But luckily, Aveeno got rid of it, and the intense one, and I've managed to get rid of it. It was all along here, this part here, and under that thumb there, and I believe it was all the sanitizing and hand washing that we were encouraged to do for the last couple of years. As you can see, I've took my rings off because I was just washing up and clearing the sides down and stuff like that, so I don't like getting them messy. So I'm very fussy when it comes to hands. I cut my fingernails always. I don't always have them short, but they get in my way, so I tend to cut them. There was a time in my life that I really was into the nails, you know, and I would do the gel nails. I could actually do them myself, so they take me forever, like a whole day or a whole evening just doing my nails, like doing the gel under the lamp, you know. And I used to do it, but it was the taking it off would always destroy the quality of my nails. So now they're just natural. I don't do anything apart from cut them, and cutting them kind of makes them grow stronger. So I don't really do anything to them, but I do look after my hands with hand creams. I've got the Aveeno, so if and I wear rubber gloves now quite a lot. I don't do it every time, I really should, but if I'm going to put my hands in the sink a lot, I will be putting rubber gloves on, and then once I've put those on and I take them off, I will moisturize my hands with the Aveeno. So yeah, that's really worked out quite well. I use this stuff, believe it or not, on my face, and in the mornings I put that on, and then the residue I rub into my hands, and it is a glycogen cream. So I got the idea long ago. I watched a documentary about burns victims. Oh, this is an awful subject, but I think it was Yves Saint Laurent and L'Oreal are owned by the same people, and they did research into how they could get people who'd been badly burned, their skin to kind of get that fat layer to stick to the skin layer again, because otherwise it looks kind of shrivelly. So they were doing all this research into it, and they come up with this glycogen cream. So the interest in the beauty industry was that, you know, if that works that well for burnt skin, can you imagine the beauty properties of that stuff? So they had two labels where they could launch this product. L'Oreal making it affordable, Yves Saint Laurent making it not. And so they chose Yves Saint Laurent, of course, and so they put out this Youth Liberator serum and creams. And so I used the serum, and it got discontinued. I was very upset about that, but I managed to find a lot of it, so I bought up quite a bit. And I'll put the Youth Liberator serum on my face in the mornings, and I always make sure that the backs of my hands get a good dose of it as well. That's what I do. Wrists, I don't look after them. I don't find I have any aches and pains, whether it's the way I hold my crochet hook. I know there are knife holders and there are pen holders, and I'm a pen holder. I got taught by my mum long ago. There were no such thing as knife holders back then. Everybody was holding it the same way, and that's how I hold it. I also find that I don't move my arms a great deal when I'm crocheting. They're by my side, and I just do the stuff, you know. And so I don't really get that much in the way of aches and pains. The only time I get wrists or sort of these bits of my hands hurting is if I don't crochet for a while, and then I pick it up and I'm doing a big project, and it's like got out of that movement, and so I'll have a bit of an achy hand. But it soon goes once I get back in the swing. So no, don't really, other than looking after my skin a bit, no, and getting rid of the hard skin that it really, I think lockdown really killed my hands, you know. Okay, question number 3. What are your crochet goals for the summer? Oh, I've had a good think about that one, because like Glenda, I have a lot of whips that I really would like to see the back of. But there was one I started Oh, actually there's 2 projects that I started. One was last summer and the other was the summer before, and I filmed part tutorials for both, and I still haven't finished the projects or got those. They were going to be crochet alongs, so obviously I'd started the filming. One of them I can't even find. It was for a festival top, and I never did kind of finish it, or I don't even know where that is. But the other one was for a bag, and it was made with cotton denim yarn, and it was a circle into a square, nice big market bag. I've made the bag itself. I haven't lined it, and I haven't finished the top or the strap. That's all I need to do, and get that done. So my summer goal is to get that, and my stool. Do you remember I had a stool? Those of you who've been with me for a long time remember the stool. I had when I first moved here, Joyce had a couple of things that were kind of, that's Gary's mother, and she had a couple of bits of furniture that had seen better days, and one of them was a footstool, and I said that I was going to pimp that footstool. So I used ice yarn, Rockstar and Universe, and I was making this really lovely cushion cover, and I painted all the legs, and I'd got gold and sparkly kind of stuff, and I was doing them, and it was all fine. I bought spray, got so far, didn't finish it. So those are my goals for this summer. Finish the stool, because I think Gary would appreciate it as a footstool. It is now at the end of the bed, so I need to get that done. It used to be in here, buried under yarn bags and stuff. Now it's not here anymore. That's inspired me to get that finished. So the stool, the bag, and maybe the top if I ever find it. If I ever find it. What are your favourite colours for the summer? Well, I always think of summer as kind of a peach colour and a yellow. Those sort of vibrant pinks, and the pastel-y but vibrant ones, you know, not the dull kind of, you know, so when you kind of get like this, jolly colours, that sort of thing. But recently I bought some yarn to sell in my shop, because I've started my own business, and I bought these yarn art flowers, and some of them were flowers merino, and there was one that was blue and green, and I'm not sure, I think I've still got some left, I believe. That was my favourite one, and I should have kept some out for myself of my flowers, and I didn't. So I'll have to get some more then. But I guess those colours, nice and vibrant, sunshiny colours, I'd say. The blue and the green were striking, and the, you know, all of those colours, the ones that I love for summer, are just really bright and striking colours. I haven't got a specific colour, just rainbow, I guess. Rainbow colours. If you could use just one hook for the rest of your life, what brand and what size would it be? Well, I've really got into the tulip reds. They are my favourite hooks right now. It would be hard, I think, because although I really love the tulip red, if I'm working with red yarn, as recently I made a hat tutorial, I had to use a different hook because it was red yarn, so it wouldn't really have noticed. So I used this one, which is why it's still in here. But I like a shaft that's longer than this. I hate calling it that, by the way. Really doesn't sit well with me calling it that. But neck, long bit, I don't know. I like it to be longer than this. But you know, don't seem to find those hooks. But I say the tulip red, I don't have one to show you. And they've been very popular on my website, to be honest with you, but they are my favourites. But other than that one, the tulip rose, I love the rose. I think it's because they're really shiny and they slip well. So my favourite size is a 4.5, but it would be a bit unfortunate, wouldn't it, if you could only use a 4.5 and then suddenly you had thicker yarn. Well, that would be a bit of a nightmare. But since this country has a lot of DK, in every shop you go to. 4.5 has been my go-to size, but you know, you've got to have the right size for the right yarn, really, haven't you? But that would be my choice. How old were you when you learned to crochet? Well, goodness gracious, I was about 6 years old. My mum taught me, and she taught me to knit as well as crochet, and it was something that I really am glad that I shared with my mum, because you know, when I look back at the memories and of the things that we made together as well, she straight off the bat, you know, I wasn't making little squares. I made a bikini, and I made a cover up for that bikini, and I made a shawl, and which I wore for my brother's wedding. I wasn't making little girl stuff. I was there making sort of really good stuff. So yeah, mum taught me to crochet at about 6. She also taught me to knit. However, she didn't teach me to sew up the knitting, and I was useless at that for quite a long time until YouTube came along and showed me better ways to do it. But yeah, I was about 6 years old, and consequently I did it for quite some time with mum, and we made lots of blankets and you know, lots of stuff. And then when I got to that age, when you go out and you're out with your friends, I kind of stopped for a while. And the only time I ever picked it up was when my brother's wife had a baby, or you know, someone I worked with later on in life had a baby. I'd make them a blanket or something. Then I had my own children, and I'd make them the odd blanket, but really that was all, because I had boys, and back then there just weren't really the patterns for boys, and there wasn't really the kind of enthusiasm for boys to wear crochet either. So yeah, I didn't really do that much until kind of later on in life, when I picked it up again, and it was a bit of nostalgia, and then my creativity started to come to the fore, and I thought, you know, I really was like designing stuff. So yeah, but it's great to look back on all the memories. And I remember when I was at school, my teacher, we had this craft day, and she said, you know, do any of you do any crafts? If so, I'd like you to bring something tomorrow and show us for the next lesson. So I said, I've got to take some craft stuff in. So we packed up a beach coverall and a shawl and a blanket, and I took them in, and I said, you know, this, I've made this. And my teacher begged me to teach her to crochet, and I said, oh yeah, cool, we'll do it in the lunch times. And she was the worst the worst pupil you could ever imagine. She said, you won't be able to teach me, people have tried. And I persevered, and I really tried hard. She just couldn't even hold the hook. She was just so limp with it all, and no matter what I said to her, she just couldn't do it. And yet she did the most amazing embroidery that you've ever seen, but she just couldn't pick that up, couldn't do it. Oh well, that was my first failure, guys. Oh, where am I? Number 6. No, that was how old were you? What are your tips for getting yarn on sale or for cheap? Ooh. Well, we're quite lucky in this country in a way that we do have really good yarn in our cheap stores. Not in all of them. Some of it is a bit not as nice, but you know, a couple of our cheaper stores do have some pretty good yarn in. Not everything. I'm thinking of Aldi. I've had some dodgy stuff from Aldi, but then of late it's been a lot better. Having said that, the last couple of campaigns, they don't run it all the time. They do events, and the last couple have been a bit not that great. Poundland always have yarn, but they never really kind of change it much, and theirs is quite good. But to get yarn cheap or discounted, we don't really have, unfortunately, like coupons and things like that. I often hear Granny D or someone talking about coupons, going down to Michael's or Joann's, so they've got coupons. We don't get that. We really don't. And occasionally, if you are a member of something like Hobbycraft, you might get emailed with a special offer, but they always end up in my spam and I never get them. And they don't give much away. They never really do give much away. So as I told you, I started my own business recently and it's called HobbyRocks. Not Crochet Rocks, but HobbyRocks. It's www.hobbyrocks.co.uk. And I decided that I would try my best to bring coupons and all the things that we kind of don't get so much in this country. So if I do mystery boxes, then I do mystery boxes with really good yarn in it. Likewise, I ship to the US, to Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Cyprus, Ireland, Malta. I will ship worldwide. So if anyone wanted yarn and I wasn't yet shipping to that area, I would open it up. So yeah, I do coupon codes. So I've got voucher codes, which I had one for June, I have one for July, which is cross stitch 20, and there'll be one in August. But I also, if somebody's ordered from me, I will then email further voucher codes to them, so they'll get extra voucher codes sent. And so I do that. Other than that, really, you know, you might get a sale on a certain site, you might get, they'll have a special offer on a certain yarn. It's usually one that they own or something. But I used to be a big fan of getting mystery boxes, and I'd love to get them. But whenever I bought them, they were always boring yarns that they wanted to get rid of. And I vowed I would never do that. You know, I would have a cross section of yarns in there so that people would love. And I do bundles as well. At the moment, the bundles that I've got are for overseas because they are of UK yarns that people can buy in the high street here. So, but I will put some more bundles together and do yarn bundles. They're under the mystery boxes stroke yarn bundles. So that's kind of my tips, really. Unfortunately, as I say, the UK is not one for finding vouchers in magazines or stuff like that. They don't really do that. I don't know how you, or if they send yours to you in an email, I don't know. But I do them anyway. But that's me. Where am I? What is your favourite holiday? Well, it has to be Christmas, doesn't it, really? Although I do kind of love Easter. I just think it's cute. I love all the kids and the bunnies and, you know, egg hunts and stuff like that. But and it's spring, so, you know, things are just starting to come alive again. But I do love Christmas. Christmas is my time, and I always feel, you know, when people say, oh, I hate Christmas or I don't like Christmas, I always feel it's quite sad because I absolutely love it, and always had good memories of Christmas. Plus, you know, you can keep cozy, get roast dinner. What's not to love, you know? Presents. Can't be wrong, can it? If it's wrong, I don't want to be right. Right, what's next? Number 9. What's your favourite benefit of crochet and how has it helped you? Okay, well, there's a couple of things I can think of. Firstly, some time ago, I read a study, and it was that if you find that you suffer with stress, anxiety, and those things, any kind of mental health issues like that, that knitting and crochet really help, because the part of the brain, I'm going to turn this fan down, the part of the brain that lights up, if you like, when you're worrying and stressed and anxious, is the same part of the brain that lights up when you're busy doing crafting. And so if you're knitting and you're crocheting, then your brain is occupied in that respect, and it puts, not puts to bed forever, but it helps kind of get rid of that anxiety and that stress. So that's one good thing. And I certainly found that throughout lockdown. Remember that nasty, stressful time we've just all been through? It certainly helped me out in that respect. So, but the biggest benefit that I've had from crochet, and I could say, you know, obviously looking back at the the kind of memories with my mum, that's a benefit. But you guys, you are the biggest, absolutely best benefit that I've had from crochet. You. Because without crochet, I wouldn't be sitting here. I wouldn't have found my little niche on YouTube. I wouldn't be doing YouTube. I wouldn't have this fantastic community and so many friends that I've made. That is the best benefit, absolutely, without a doubt. I love it for that reason. What do you do with your finished objects? Oh wow, don't really get them, you know. Mostly all whips. No, seriously not. No. I do, obviously, but they usually get given away, you know. Kids have them. I give them to charity quite often if nobody really claims one, or if they've just got too many. But I tend to give them away, give them to friends, family, grandchildren, you know, car blankets. There's everything's everywhere. So yeah, I don't keep very much. I do have some hats here somewhere, which are, well, the red one I made recently. Going to keep that, because it's not often that a hat suits me, and I like that one, so I shall keep that. But I don't keep much. You know, usually a few bits, like maybe some fingerless gloves or a scarf, but the rest all gets distributed to family, friends, or charity. So I need to tag some people. Now the beauty of this is, as in the title, it is a Secret Yarny top 10 for you. So it's not just channels. Subscribers can be tagged as well. So the channels that I'm going to tag are Creatively Created Crochet. I'm going to get my mouth around that one. TSY, you're tagged. Cinnamon Stitches, Jennifer, you're tagged. And Mimi Cat Do, you're tagged. So also, Linda Just a Crochet Sister, you're going to be tagged. You don't have to make a video. If you're not feeling up to it, you can just tag your answers. Because Claptrap, I'd like to see your answers as well. And Sharon, oh my God, Sutcliffe. And Alison Longstaff. I can't read my writing. But all of you guys that watch me regularly, you can answer too, because you can just find the questions from the drop down and you can put your answers underneath mine. You don't have to make videos. So that's the beauty of this tag. It's not just for us creators, it is for you guys as well. So thank you for watching. I hope I haven't babbled away in the corner too much. Anyway, thank you so much to Glenda for tagging me, and we'll have to remedy that and get chatting again. Thanks a lot. I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now, everyone.